Morning students, welcome to BRGS online classes. I hope you all are safe and healthy. Kids, today we will be starting with a new lesson. So let's go ahead and see what we will be learning in today's class. Now let's start the lesson Vadayas of Mysore. Kids, before going ahead with the lesson, let me tell you what you will be learning in today's class. You will get to know the pro-people achievements of Chikkadeva Raya. You will also know the reason and the result of battles of Hyder Ali and Tippu Sultan against British. You will also know the contribution of Hyder Ali and Tippu Sultan. You can understand the achievement of Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadeyar and mark the historical places of Mysore provinces on the map. Yeduraya was the first king of Mysore Wadeyars from 1399 to 1423 CE. Gandaberunda was the emblem of the state and Srirangapatna was their first capital. Students, did you know that they used this Gandaberunda because it showcased the immense prosperity and the power? Chikkadeva Raya. Kids, he ruled from 1673 till 1704 CE. Chikkadeva Raya is one of the prominent king of the Wadeyars. He implemented many pro-people measures. He also opened Athara Kacheri with 18 departments. He built a dam across the western stream of the river Kaveri near Srirangapatna and provided irrigation facility. He introduced thrift in his administration, enriched the treasury and was confirmed with Navakoti Narayana title. The title which was given to him was Navakoti Narayana. And Mysuru state was prosperous during the reign of Chikkadeva Raya. Now let's get to know about Hyder Ali. Kids, he had ruled between 1761 to 1782 CE. Hyder Ali was an eminent commander in Dalavri Nanjarajaraya's army. He was brave and adventurous. He won many battles and accumulated army and wealth. This made him gain respect from the king. Where there was a revolt in the capital city, Hyder Ali suppressed it and he gained back his kingship of Krishnaraja Wadeyar and removed the Dalavoy and took over the administration. Soon after taking over the administration, he engaged in extending the borders of the state. Okay, he didn't stop at one state or place. He started to expand, his kingdom. He defeated the Keladi rulers and confiscated their wealth and improved his financial status. He also took over Chitradurga fort with lots of difficulty. Now let's see what all the battles he had with the British. Kids, the British came for business and gradually became powerful in politics as we have studied in the previous chapter, right? So the British did not tolerate the expansions of the Mysore kingdom in the south by Hyder Ali. They were not happy with this. So what happened? This led to an clash between the Hyder Ali and British, and it was a never ending clash. So the four battle waged by Hyder Ali and later by his son Tippu Sultan against British are called Anglo-Mysore Wars, or you can say Mysore Wars. So who was the son of Hyder Ali? Tippu Sultan. And there was four battle which had held by Hyder Ali and later it was continued by his son Tippu Sultan against the British, which is known as Anglo-Mysore Wars or Mysore Wars. In the first Anglo-Mysore War, British had suffered with lots of losses, kids, okay? Hence, they had to sign Madras Treaty with Hyder Ali. As per the treaty, both the parties rush to each other rescue if attacked by any enemy. Okay, they had to help each other if the third party attacks them, no matter whether you like the other team or not. They had to support each other at any cost. Okay, this elevated the status of Hyder Ali. A few years later, Maratha attacked Mysore kingdom. Then the Britishers did not come to aid for Hyder Ali. Okay, while when the Maratha has attacked, the British didn't help Hyder Ali and remained neutral. They didn't wanted to go against the Marathas, nor they wanted to help Hyder Ali. And Hyder Ali got angry by this and he invaded British. This is the second Anglo-Mysore War. Hyder Ali died while fighting this war. Okay, in second Anglo-Mysore War, Hyder Ali died. The battle was continued by his son Tipu Sultan. Okay, while this war was going, Hyder Ali lost his life in the war, and later it was continued by his son named as Tipu Sultan. Now let's go ahead and see the achievements of Hyder Ali. Kids, Hyder Ali was aware of contemporary politics. Okay, he was good in that. Though he was an illiterate, he didn't study much. He knew many languages, including Kannada. He extended his kingdom of Mysore in a large part. Okay, he was a brave soldier and an efficient administrator. Hyder Ali has an important place in the annals of the Karnataka history. Okay, a special place has been given to him. He had established beautiful Lalbagh Garden in Bengaluru, which you can see even today, right? It was established by Hyder Ali. Okay, now let's get to know about Tipu Sultan. Kids, Tipu Sultan was the son of Hyder Ali, as I told you. Tipu participated in his father's battle actively and emerged as winner and declared himself as the Sultan. Okay, he didn't give up after his father died. He continued the war and he had won the battles. Okay, after that he declared himself as a Sultan. Tipu led the second Anglo-Mysore War when his father Hyder Ali died in the battle due to illness. After the death of his father, he continued the Anglo-Mysore Wars. Nobody came to help him. He fought against Britishers bravely. At last, the Britishers signed the Treaty of Mangaluru with him. In this treaty was beneficial for both the parties. Okay, both the parties returned and they captured areas and exchanged the prisoners of war. Okay, the whatever they had got, they got exchanged. This treaty increased the structure of Tippu. In a very short duration, another two battles took place between Tippu and the Britishers. The mutual hatred, okay, they didn't like each other, there was a hatred, okay, and disbelief was the main reason for this. They didn't trust each other because he was not ready to trust the Britishers, and Britishers were not ready to trust Tippu Sultan. That's the reason there was a clash between these two. In the Third Anglo-Mysore War, the Britishers lay siege to the capital city of the Tippu's Srirangapatna. Okay, they attacked the city. Without any alternative, Tippu had to sign a peace treaty with the British. He didn't have any other option left. As per the peace treaty, Tippu had to surrender half of his kingdom to the British and had to pay 330 lakh as compensation. Until the compensation is cleared, two sons of Tippu were taken as a hostage because they didn't trust Tippu, right? That's the reason they told, okay, until and unless you pay us the amount, we will keep your two sons with us. This treaty made Tippu feel disgraced. He was not happy with this treaty. He decided to throw the British out of India. The Fourth Anglo-Mysore War was started. Again, Srirangapatna was under siege. Tippu fought very hard. Lucky he He gave up everything to fight that war and died in the battlefield. Tipu Sultan is known as the Tiger of Mysuru. After the fall of Tipu Sultan, Mysuru came under the rule of British. They handed over the administration to Krishnaraja Wadaya III, but Mysuru became independent state of the British. The achievements of Tipu Sultan are as follows. Tipu was aware of the latest achievements in science and technology. He had a very good library. He built Bengaluru Palace and Summer Palace in Srirangapatna. The walls, pillars and the roofs of Summer Palace are painted with painting depicting historical incident. Okay, it tells us the story. Okay, Tipu also sanctioned grants to many Hindu temples and he gave gift to Srirangagiri Mutt. He brought many changes in the field of sericulture and helped farmers by giving loans which could be repaid in easy installment. So he was not very strict with the other religion. He allowed temples to be built, okay, and he also made concessions for the farmers and they could repay the loans in the easy installments. The tomb of Hyder Ali and the Jumma Masjid were great constructions finished by Tipu. The minarets of the masjid are known for their beauty. He established royal mints at Srirangapatna and Mysuru. Krishnaraja Wadaya III. The period of wars ended with the fall of Tipu Sultan. The British took over the Mysore state and divided into four parts among Marathas, Nizam and themselves. The remaining one part was returned to Mysore Wadayas. Okay, they had made four parts. One they gave to Marathas, second the other part they gave to Nizam, one they had kept with themselves and the one part they have returned back to the Mysore Wadayas. Krishnaraja Wadaya III was brought to power. Since Krishnaraja Wadaya III was only 5-year-old boy, Purniha was appointed as the Diwan of Mysore. Because he was too small, that's the reason. As they felt that Krishnaraja Wadaya III did not properly suppress the revolt of Bidanuru of Shivamogga, they dethroned the king, okay, because he was not able to handle that thing, and brought the administration of Mysore under a commissioner. Administration of the commissioner was from 1831 to 1881 CE. Mark Cubbon. Mark Cubbon implemented many administrative reforms in the state. He transformed the capital from Mysuru to Bengaluru. Mysore was divided into many administrative units and kept them under superintendent supervision. Okay, it was under the observation, in the other word. Administrative units were divided into 4 districts and talukas. Judiciary and police department were organized really well. Okay, Kannada was implemented as the official language. New roads were built. As a result, all the major places of the state could get connected directly to Bengaluru. The main aim was that easy connectivity to Bengaluru should be there. Bridges were built and telegraph lines were laid. The construction of railway line between Bengaluru and Jolarpet had been started. This was the first railway in the state and it was from Bengaluru to Jolarpet. Kindly remember this one. The first railway line was between Bengaluru and Jolarpet and this was the first railway in the state. He resigned from the commissioner post in 1861. Who resigned? Mark Cubbon. The Cubbon Park was built in his memory. In Bangalore, you might be knowing, if you are in Bangalore, you know, right, the Cubbon Park is famous. So it was built in the memory of Mark Cubbon. After Mark Cubbon, Louis Bantam Bowring took charge as the commissioner in 1862. He recognized the administration structures of Mysore state. The land revenue collection process was reorganized. Judiciary and police department were established properly, means improvement were done. Educational reforms were introduced with the help of the establishment of Department of Public Instruction, public instructions. And after that, Bowring resigned from the commissioner post in 1870. The commissioner led the strong foundation of the development of Mysore state. Chamaraja Wadayar 10. In 1881, British handed over the administration of the state again to Chamaraj Wadayar 10. This is called Purandana. C. Rangacharalu and the Seshadri Iyer ruled as Diwans under him. In 1881, People Representative Assembly started functioning. Now let's read about Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadayar. Kids, Chamraja Wadayar 10 died in Calcutta while he was on a visit. Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadayar, he got the throne as his successor in 1895. He was only 11 years old then when he had got the throne. The administration was run by his mother, Nanja Manani. The direct rule of Nalwadi started from 1902. He was well educated and led a firm foundation for modern state during his regime. He also formed Miller Commission in order to ensure the participation of all sections of the societies in the administration. The achievements of Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadayar is he gave 371 acres of land and 5 lakh rupees grants to J.N. Tata to start science institution in Bengaluru. In 1907, Legislative Assembly was established. This enabled people to discuss their problem through their representative. He also built KRS Dam, which you can see in Mysore even today, and developed agriculture in the state. The present Mysore Palace was completed in 1910. The Mysore Economic Conference was started in 1911. He passed the order that backward classes should get special representations in the government service. He gave voting power to women for the first time. Nalwadi had lots of development in education, industries, bankings and other important sectors by playing the role of a guide and a motivator. He appointed talented divans who could translate his vision into reality. Okay, it can't be done only by one person. You need a team to do something great, right? So he had a team. Among them, Sir M. Vishwesvaraya and Sir Mirza Ismail are important. Mahatma Gandhiji called the Mysore state of Nalwadi as Ramarajya and called him Rajyashri. There was no mature ruler like Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadayar in the early part of 20th century. Kids, Sir M. Vishwesvaraya is considered as the sculptor and the creator of modern Mysuru. He worked as the chief engineer of Mysore from 1909 to 1912. Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadayar appointed him as the Diwan of Mysuru in 1912. During this period, Mysore state progressed as per the vision of Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadayar. As he planned, everything was going in the way he had planned. National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, that is NIMHANS, in Bengaluru, Narasimharaja Hospital in Kolar, McGann Hospital in Shivamogga, Vani Vilasa Hospital in Mysuru were started during his time. Primary education was encouraged and primary education law was implemented. The private schools were offered aid to run the schools. Kannada medium education was offered in high schools. Thus, Sir Mirza Ismail was instrumental in implementing the vision of Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadeyar. Sir Mirza Ismail was also the classmate of Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadeyar and was successful in translating the vision of Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadeyar into reality. Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadeyar had a dream of certain things to be done, and Sir Mirza Ismail was a person who brought that into reality. After the death of Nalwadi Krishnaraja Wadeyar, Jayachamraja Wadeyar came into power. He was the last ruler of Mysore state. After the declaration of Indian independence, a satyagraha started in front of the palace demanding for the inclusion of Mysore state in the Indian Federation under the leadership of K.C. Reddy. As a result, Jayachamraja Wadeyar accepted the demand to become a part of India. A responsible government came into existence under the leadership of K.C. Reddy on October 24, 1947. Jayachamendra Wadeyar later became the first governor of Mysore state. That's all from this chapter. Thank you very much for paying attention. Have a great day ahead.